Hello everyone and welcome to another video review by Centipede Geek. I wanted to share with everyone probably one of my favorite television shows to come out this year. I think it's one of the more obscure shows that maybe not a lot of people know about. It's not available on your local cable network such as Fox or CBS or anything like that. It's not even available on Netflix or Hulu. It's a show by the name of Slasher, and it comes on the horror streaming app known as Shudder, and it has a very sort of weird upcoming. And the reason I say that is, and I'll talk more about the plot to season 4 here in just a second. It originally premiered, according to my sources, March 4th of 2016. I remember watching the first season. It came on a television channel by the name of Chiller, a really cool channel that had these really cool original films, and it was all centered around horror. I remember staying up late at night several years back watching the Chiller channel, and I have a lot of fond memories when I used to live with my parents of watching that show. Just a really cool show, and or just really cool channel, excuse me. And that's where the first season aired. It originally aired on that Chiller channel. And be honest, I've only seen the first and the fourth season. I never watched seasons 2 or 3. And each season is anthology, so each season is normally about a specific killer or serial killer, and you're trying to find, it's sort of like a whodunit deal, and you're trying to find out who this masked killer might be. The second season went straight to Netflix, and that aired in January of 2017, so about a year later, or a little less than a year later. Or aired October 17th of 2017. It was acquired by Netflix in January 2017. Excuse me on that. It was renewed for a third season that came out March 23rd in 2019. And then, for whatever reason, Netflix didn't order a fourth season and went straight to Shudder. And it aired at August 12th of 2021. So you see, it's a fairly new show. So it's had 3 different people stream the show. It originally came out on Chiller, before all these Paramount Plus and Apple, before streaming just really took over the world. It came out on Chiller, and then it went to Netflix, the sort of, in my opinion, OG of the streaming service, and then it went to Shudder, this obscure horror streaming app for horror gorehounds like myself. And now let's talk about, we had seasons 1, I got the titles right here. Season 1 was The Executioner, 2 was Guilty Party, 3 was Solstice, and 4 is called Flesh and Blood. And I'll only be talking about season 4 because I just watched season 4, Flesh and Blood. But I do remember liking the first season, The Executioner, quite a bit. And like I said, Guilty Party and Solstice airing both on Netflix. Haven't seen those, so I won't be talking about those. Flesh and Blood is a really cool season, and pretty much the main plot is, think almost like Saw, or like a modern version of House on the Haunted Hill, as all of these people, this family, the Galloway family, is brought to this house, and they have to compete in these life or death, these very risky life or death challenges in order to gain this inheritance, to gain all this money that their dad or grandfather has left behind. And all of these people are sort of entangled in this story, and you find out all these secrets that they've been hiding. And while they're competing in this game of life or death, because their dad or grandfather is just this huge sicko, played by David Cronenberg, a great actor. He does so great in this role. This is just definitely deserves an award, but this show is so under the radar that it, obviously won't ever get one unless it happens to come across the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards later on, next year or something like that if we're lucky. But and then while this is all happening, there's this mass killer that's running around knocking off the family members, and these very gruesome, very gory deaths one by one. So while these people are trying to get their dad's inheritance, somebody within the family is killing people one by one by one. And you, the audience, along with the characters in the show, are slowly trying to find out who this is. And I don't want to spoil anything, but at the end of finally in the finale, it's such a huge twist and such a big finale twist that when you finally find out what's going on, your jaws drop to the floor There will be major spoilers coming up now, just so you guys know. Especially episodes 1 and 2 at the end of the episode where the other brother shows up. I believe we had Vincent, and I forget the other brother's name, but the bald brother shows up, and he hasn't been around in like 20 years, and he shows up after his kidnapping. He's traumatized, he's dark, he's a very mysterious character now, so it's really interesting seeing him. Their mother, the red-haired lady, is a complete sicko and very annoying in the show. There's some great scenes with her character and another character where later on this lady like bites off her fingers, and there's some great scenes. Another great scene where one of the family members gets his arms pulled off. There's so many great scenes in this show. Young character by the name of Afra. You find out later on that she wasn't ever a child. She wasn't ever a young kid. She was some person from Russia, and she ends up like eating alive her, I guess you could say, her stepmom, and just a crazy scenes. There's some really crazy, gory scenes, and then at the end, we end up finding out that it was the doctor, a lawyer character. She never fell in the wood chipper all along. That was not her body. It wasn't her guts that were in the blood chipper. So, like I said, this has got to be one of my favorite shows this year. If you're talking about blood and gore alone, this show is definitely one to watch out for. But I think it has other things besides that. It definitely has a really cool story with some really great twists behind it. It's got some great acting. And if you're wanting an episode, if you're wanting a show or a season with each and every episode to give you like a twist there at the end, to give you a big death and then a big twist at the end, and great acting and performances all around, I definitely think Slasher Flesh and Blood is definitely gonna give you that. I hope they give it a season 5. I'd really be curious to see. Like I said, each season anthology is different. It's not an anthology in the sense where each episode is different. It's an anthology in the sense where each season is different. So I'm curious to see if it does get picked up again. You know, we've had to go from Chiller to Netflix and to Shudder, and I really hope it stays on Shudder because I think Shudder is the perfect streaming platform for this sort of show. Once again, thanks for watching another video, Slasher Flesh and Blood. It's only 8 episodes. You could finish it in just a night or two. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe below, and thanks for watching.